Morning and welcome back to another video. I thought I would do a bit of a garden tour for you. It's been a while since I've kind of shown my garden. I will link my previous garden tour here for you. I apologise for the sound. It was really windy that day, so it isn't very good sound, but it will give you a feel of how the garden was looking then and how it's looking now. Now this garden isn't finished. If you're expecting to see a completed garden and how wonderful it looks, this is not the video for you. This is just like an update of how it's looking, because it's a huge garden. It's an ongoing project, and I just thought it would be worth doing a little tour now. We've got some work going to happen, I think next weekend, so we'll get a bit more done, and then hopefully we'll be able to get it kind of usable for the summer. It is pretty much usable. With a toddler it's difficult. Sorry, it's the husband in the background opening the garage door. So I'll take you around, I'll tell you what changes we've made and what things we've got planned. Yeah, and I think I can get to the top of the garden. I'm not sure, I've not been up there for a long time. There's no steps up there yet, but there's not a lot to see up there other than weeds. Anyway, I'll stop waffling, and I've got the two kids out here with me and the husband, so they're kind of mingling around as well, but I'll show you where we are with it and take you on a little tour. I apologise for the lighting today. It is really sunny, so there will be lots of shadows, but this is the kind of entrance to our garden, so that's the back gate, and we have put in a little ramp there from the back gate up onto the decking, because the decking has been fitted since our last video and it is raised so that it goes straight into the back door. Previously there was a little step, so underneath here is a step, a concrete step, but I wanted to be able to wheel a pushchair straight into the kitchen, which is through that door. So we have raised the decking so that it's kind of level with the house and with the back door, which means we had to put this ramp in here. So we've got a ramp in, and then if I just turn myself around, my shadow, there's the boys. There is a little baby in the shadows there. We have decked wall to wall here. This used to be a concrete path along the side of the house, and there's a concrete plinth around the side of the garage and grass in between, and now it's all decking. So it's made this space really usable, really big. And it's waterlogged underneath. Where the grass was waterlogged, so this was the easiest option, just to raise the decking and put it over top of the grass so that we could use the space without having to deal with all that water. We have put something in place to try and deal with it. So nothing's changed here, that's just the garage, still the same, nothing's changed there. We have our barbecue there. I'm not sure if it's going to stay there or not, but that's where it is at the moment. Here we have some decking, no, what do you call these? Pallet furniture that Keith, my husband, has made, and they're just piled up. The backs of them are in the garage. I hope you can see this okay. It's really bright and sunny today. We haven't done anything with this bed yet. We are planning to dig it out and make the bottom part a flower bed, and then the top part would be, where all those boxes are, will be a veg patch, but that hasn't been done yet. But those boxes have been put in place. They're not permanently there, they've just been kind of put there just to block some of the view off, I guess, and block getting up there, because nothing's been done up there. In this, sorry, my shadow's in the way there, let me just move this side. This needs to be finished off, but I don't know if you can see this or not. There is where the water source is flowing through, and so we've put a drain in there to try and channel the water, and then the drain goes from that point over to the wall. There's a drain over there somewhere. So that is kind of solving some of the problem with the water, but it is still quite wet. I can't see it in this, how dark that shadow, but there is quite a lot of water there still, so it's not fully solved the problem. So we've also put these steps in. I hope that they are showing up okay for you. Originally we were thinking about just putting skinny steps in straight up here, but I wanted to kind of make a bit of a feature of it, and it's worked out really well. I had a birthday party shortly after this decking was finished, as in about 30 minutes after it was finished, and this area was used as seating. So although we didn't have a lot of seating in the garden, this was all used for people to sit on, so it was perfect. And I do like how kind of big it is and how it's a bit of a feature, because we don't need the space, and I didn't want steep steps, I didn't want skinny steps. I wanted it to be easy to walk up there, and it worked out really well because it's kind of worked as a seating area as well without causing anyone problems to get up to the top part of the garden. That has worked out really well. Let's see if you can see this part of the garden. This here is our kitchen window there, and the other window just there is our living room, dining room window. This obviously nothing's been done with, it's all just been dumped on there. We have plans to clear all this and flatten it. This will need to be sloped just here and maybe planted up there, and then this area flattened, and I'd like to maybe turn that into kind of like a washing line area. The greenhouse needs to be moved, so that won't be there permanently, but it's just being stored there at the moment. But it needs to all be cleared because obviously there's a lot of stones there and a lot of rubbish that needs to be moved out. So there's a lot of work to be done there. And we also plan to possibly put some kind of rail up the side of the decking. I'm not too sure what kind of rail, and maybe a gate at the end of the decking there, so that we can keep little ones out of there, but we can get in there to do whatever we need to. We may even put a compost bin down there as well. I'm not too sure at the moment, but that's kind of the plans for that area. In the corner there is an acer tree, and that's just starting to bud, but it does come out really nice later in the summer. And the box there, I think had an onion in there, but there's nothing growing in there at the moment. It was just placed there. Here we have a fence leading onto a grass area. The purpose of this is so that our toddler can play in there, and we're going to put a gate across here, and he can be gated in without getting to other parts of the garden and be safe and play. That's kind of his play area, but that just needs to be finished. There's a post there that needs to be fixed up as well. But other than the post being fixed and a gate being put on, that's almost finished now. I'm getting the shake at the head from my husband, so there's obviously some more work to be done, but that's why that's there, just to kind of section off the grass area to the rest of the garden and hopefully contain the toddler, which may or may not happen. So this area is all grass now. It used to kind of start from where that slope is there and gradually come down. It was very uneven. It was like a gradual slope, and it was really unusable. So what we've done, or we didn't do, we had a digger come in and it was lowered, and then all of that was kind of levelled off, because I think it kind of tapered from that side down that way as well as down this way. So it was lowered so that this area was all flat, and we then turfed it. The grass unfortunately wasn't laid as quick as we'd planned to, so some of it isn't as good as we would like it to look, but we need to work on that and get the grass looking nice again, and get it cut as well, because now it's warmed up we can get the grass cut. We've got plans in here to plant up the slopes. There's a lot of weeding that needs to be done on there, but we just plan to plant those up with really easy plants that will just spread and cover the area, so we don't have to maintain it very much, because it'd be really hard to get to the top of those slopes. It's quite, if I just walk over to it to see how high up that top of the slope is, the top of it is kind of up to my chest area, so I couldn't climb up there. That would be quite difficult to get up there, so that's what we're planning for that, just to plant up to make it look nice with low maintenance. We also plan to do something with this wall. It's not very nice to look at. We probably will just render it and paint it. Keith says he wants to make some kind of platform to go across the top of the slope. When Tommy's a bit older, my toddler's a bit older, he can play up there on the platform and maybe turn that into a chalkboard, so I'm not too sure on that yet. But that's kind of our only plans for this area, apart from putting some kind of play furniture in here, and we might put some beds in, but it's mainly area for Tommy to play. We will also do the same with this slope as well. We'll plant that up so it's looking nice but low maintenance. Those are just some desk tops. Keith had the idea of putting them there to get rid of the weeds, but whether it's worked or not I don't know, but they're just going to be thrown in the bin when we're done with those. Hello. So I'm going to try and get up the hill now. We will at some point. What's that? Is it? Okay, I'm being told to go out the gate and Tommy, excuse me. So I'm not sure whether we're going to put steps in this side or the other side, but we plan to put some steps in to get up here. So this would be what I said, the flower bed with maybe some shrubs and nice flowers to look at, and then this would be the start of our vegetable patch. So I'm just going to try and get up this hill. So this has kind of been dug out as well and sloped around the corner. Let me see if I can get across. It is a mess up here. So yeah, so you can see that's quite wide there. That's been pushed back and flattened off. So this area will have the greenhouse and all our veg patch. And we're going to make some boxes up from pallet wood and use these boxes as well. And this is what this area will just be, just for growing our own vegetables. Just here is the back of the garage. This used to have a roof on, but that was taken off and not replaced yet. And we're just storing all the old sleepers that came from the other side of the garden where that fence is there. So there's not a lot to look at up here, it's just a mess, and we've got a big pile of wood and rubbish that needs to be burnt there. And as you can see, there are a lot of weeds up here. This is going to be a mammoth job to get this done, but we're not really concentrating on this at the moment. If I just go try, I'm not going to go up there because it's quite steep now, but this is the top part of the garden. Not a lot to see up there other than a lot of weeds. I do like the tree up there. It does come out really nice in the summer, and eventually, if we ever have money and we stay in this house, we'd like to put a summer house up there with a hot tub, and when you sit by that tree you can get a view of the city. So it's not a huge amount to see there, but at night you get all the city lights, so it's quite nice. And then you can kind of see the sun setting over there. So yes, that's the kind of plan for that area, but that would be way in the future. At the moment we don't have the money to do that, and as you can see there's a lot of work just to get it looking nice, but that's the kind of plans for that. I'll see if I can get a bit higher so you can see the bottom part of the garden from up here. So this is the decking from higher up. It is a really big area. It's great for barbecues, great for entertaining. As you can see, it just needs a little bit of tidying up around the side of it. I apologise for the noise. Our neighbours are having something delivered, and they must be doing some gardening or work in the house because they've got a delivery out on the street. And then that's Tommy's play area. It's a huge area. That's like twice the size of a lot of British houses. Their gardens, so it's a huge area. It's going to take a lot to fill it, but he just loves being outside, and we do plan to put some nice furniture in there, or nice play furniture in there for him, and hopefully we can get a few bits for this summer so we can really enjoy it. So that's how the garden is looking. It's about 3 to 4 times the size of our house, so that just kind of shows you how big it is. Our house is just a regular size semi-detached house that you get in the UK. It's not tiny, but it's not huge, but the garden is a really big corner plot. Just unfortunately it's on a hill, which makes it quite difficult. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope that's given you a little bit of an update of how the garden's doing. I will try and do another video when we get to summer, just to kind of show you where we are with the garden. Hopefully we've made a few changes. I'm not sure how many we'll make in that time. Really difficult when you've got 2 little ones. We are just kind of doing it as and when we've got time and money. But I do know we've got some help coming next weekend to get some of those jobs done, so that we can start using it and start enjoying it. But this is far better than it was last year, because it was totally unusable last year. We did use it every now and then, but not like we can now. So I'm really grateful that we are this far along with it, and I just want to kind of get those few finishing touches done on the areas that we have done, so that we can fully enjoy it, and then the rest of it up here we can just ignore for now, because it is a mammoth job, and if we did it all in one go, that would be a heck of a lot of money and time and energy that we don't have at the moment. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.